Hey there, thank you for continuing supporting my videos and coming back to my channel. But you know what else needs your support? The Black Lives Matter movement. In the description below, you'll find links to donation pages, petition pages, and ways to support Black-owned businesses. Racism is still very much an issue, even if the topic is no longer trending. Thank you so much, and now back to your normal video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, down to the last page. Now for today's video, I will be looking at That Reminds Me by Derek Owusu. This won't be a full review video. This will just be touching upon a couple of themes that I picked up reading this book that I thought would be good to mention for this video. I will be doing a full review, full non-spoiler review of this book over on my blog on www.downtothelastpage.com, so go over and check it out over there. And the particular themes I've picked were ones which I felt were quite prominent throughout the book, and those themes were surrounding mental health, identity, and the feeling of fitting in and belonging. Just a quick disclaimer, all opinions are my own. I'm not here to sort of influence anyone's thoughts about these topics or anything like that, and I thought would make for a really good topic of discussion. The first thing what I'm going to talk about is mental health. Derek's main character, Kay, who goes by the name of Kay, is a Ghanaian descendant, so his parents are from Ghana, and obviously he's British. He was British born, grew up in England, and the reason why mental health plays such an important role throughout this whole book is that progressively, as the book goes on, his mental health does become a lot more worse. This is also down to the environment that Kay had grown up in, certain things that happen in the book, and again, this is non-spoiler, so I won't be talking about those particular incidents that have happened in the book. And we also see the environment that Kay grows in that also attributes to the state of his mental health. There's also the social climate. It does play a huge part being a Black British man. The other thing I also noted was that there's a lot of baggage there, the family background, and again, things that happen in his life that contribute, and there's a lot that he was dealing with. We do see that Kay obviously goes down a very destructive path, and we do see glimpses of that earlier on in the book, and obviously as it slowly goes on. The other thing, obviously, with the mental health issue, there's a lot of stigma that's attached to mental health. I know in general there's a lot of stigma attached to someone having mental health issues, especially within the BAME community, especially within the Black community. That is never talked about enough, is never talked about a lot, and then you see aspects of that in here, and obviously as Kay describes how it was getting worse and he couldn't bring himself to get the help he needed, even though he was very aware of the fact that he needed to get help, but he just couldn't get to the point to be able to get it nor receive it. This is some information that I did get up on mentalhealth.org, so go check it out as well. According to the 2011 census, there's about 14% of people from the BAME community across the population of England and Wales, and across that population, the reason why mental health is an important factor is that often these people face a lot of individual and social challenges that can affect their mental health, and obviously that could also affect access to healthcare and overall mental and physical care. So a lot of this does show up in the book, and it's quite obvious, obviously through the eyes of Kay, and I thought it was just an important aspect and topic to talk about. The next point I wanted to mention was about identity. That was another theme that did come across a lot in this book. The reason why I mention identity is that definitely at times we see where he isn't sure of what people's expectations. It isn't, again, I will be bringing this back to being a Black British man, being African parents. He is sometimes caught in between what are the expectations people have from him. There are people, unfortunately, in his family that go down, family members that are involved in crime, and again, there's an expectation of you're doing it for the family, you're doing it for us, you're meant to be one of us, and it's a case of is that what I identify with? Is that sort of, having this sort of criminal persona, is that what I'm meant to be? You see that he didn't want to be like that. He was trying to get away from the life of crime, anything associated with that, but again, because he had people he knew involved in that, is that what everyone expected of him? It was almost as if, is that the expectation people have, so I might as well do it and become that? And the other thing that also played a huge part in this was obviously poverty, linking to the fact and how he grew up and how that had an effect on what he identified with. And the last thing that I wanted to touch upon in this book was the idea of belonging and fitting in. So this was a major one, as big as mental health issues that were going on in the book. The reason why I wanted to talk about the idea of belonging, Kay talks about a lot of the time where he felt like he always stuck out. He never belonged to one group. He didn't feel like he even belonged to his own family. He didn't really feel like he fit in. There was a scene he talks about how he was hanging out with his 3 white friends when he was a teenager, and again the discrimination and prejudice he would face, even considering growing up being British born, you know, forgetting the fact that it was his parents that did come from Ghana, being British born, and again having to face that discriminative behaviour. But also on the flip side, he didn't feel like he fit in with his cousins that were from Ghana, that did come back from Ghana, because there was another point when he was a young boy, he wanted to hang out with the younger lads, he wanted to hang out with the younger kids from his other side of his family. His parents would have let him hang out with them, and he was so desperately trying to understand the language, so desperately trying to understand what they were saying. So it was a case of, and this actually happens a lot with second generation British Africans or people that grew up here who had African parents. You feel like you're not African enough to be able to engage with, say, the other side of your family who are from Africa, and yet not British and white enough considering you were born within this country. So he does definitely have a lot of time trying to battle and deal with that, and it's a case of a double-edged sword. He can't fit in with his own African side of his family from Ghana, nor can he fit with the British side. There's another really good quote he talks about, that when he was born, his mother was trying to shape himself, or shape his body into the European version, almost trying to shape him into seeing what the Europeans, or say how the white counterpart should see him. And that was a very interesting quote to say, and that was at the beginning, and reading that as the story went on kind of made a lot of sense. And that was it. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you did like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time.